Welcome, dear listeners, to History with Herodotus, where we delve into the vast expanse of human experience, uncovering the secrets of our collective past. Today, we embark on a journey through the dusty annals of American history to explore one of the most devastating environmental disasters of the 20th century, the Dust Bowl. This calamitous event, which ravaged the Great Plains, left an indelible mark on the lives of millions, and its impact still resonates today. As we set out to examine the origins of this catastrophe, let us transport ourselves to the early 20th century, to the rolling hills and vast prairies of the American heartland. It is here, in the states of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska, that the stage was set for the perfect storm of environmental degradation and human folly. The year was 1862, when the Homestead Act was signed into law by President Abraham Lincoln, offering 160 acres of land to settlers who were willing to farm it for 5 years. This seemingly innocuous act would ultimately lead to a tidal wave of migration, as thousands of families flocked to the Great Plains, eager to stake their claim on the fertile soil. One such family was that of Charles Perkins, a young farmer from Illinois who arrived in Oklahoma in 1889 with his wife and 3 children. They settled near the town of Guimon, which was founded just a few years earlier in 1901. The Perkins family, like many others, was drawn to the area by the promise of cheap land and abundant natural resources. As they began to till the soil and plant their crops, they were unaware of the devastating consequences that would soon unfold. The town of Guimon, Oklahoma, is a prime example of this transformation. Founded in 1901, Guimon was once a small, thriving community surrounded by vast fields of native grasses, including buffalo grass and blue grama. However, as the years passed, the town became a hub for agricultural activity, with farmers and ranchers flocking to the area to take advantage of the fertile soil. By the 1920s, the landscape around Guimon had changed dramatically, with the native grasses replaced by vast fields of wheat, corn, and cotton. The introduction of new farming techniques, such as the use of tractors and plows, also played a significant role in the degradation of the soil. The steel plow, invented by John Deere in 1837, allowed farmers to till the soil more efficiently, but it also led to the destruction of the native grasses that had held the soil in place for centuries. As the soil was exposed to the elements, it became increasingly vulnerable to erosion. Droughts, which had always been a part of the region's cycle, began to take on a new level of severity, as the denuded soil offered little resistance to the howling winds. The drought of 1909, for example, was particularly devastating, with crops failing across the Great Plains. However, it was not until the 1930s that the full extent of the disaster became apparent. One key figure who warned about the dangers of soil erosion and the importance of conservation was Hugh Hammond Bennett, a soil scientist who worked for the U.S. Department of Agriculture. In his 1928 report, Soil Erosion, a National Menace, Bennett sounded the alarm about the devastating consequences of soil degradation, but his warnings fell on deaf ears. As we stand at the threshold of this calamitous event, we can see the stage being set for the tragic unfolding of the Dust Bowl. The perfect storm of environmental degradation and human folly is about to unleash its fury upon the land. Join me as we venture forth into the very eye of the storm and uncover the stories of those who lived through one of the most pivotal moments in our collective past. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, as we continue our journey through the devastating events of the Dust Bowl. As we delve into the heart of the Dust Bowl, it becomes clear that the year 1930 marked a turning point in the crisis. A severe drought had struck the Great Plains, and the soil, already weakened by years of intensive farming, was unable to withstand the harsh winds that swept across the region. The native grasses that had once held the soil in place were now largely gone, replaced by crops that offered little resistance to erosion. The once thriving community was now beset on all sides by massive dust storms, known as dusters, which reduced visibility to near zero and made breathing a hazardous endeavor. The storms were so severe that they would often strip the paint from houses, damage crops, and even kill livestock. One of the most iconic images of the Dust Bowl is that of the Black Sunday storm, which occurred on April 14, 1935. On this day, a massive dust storm swept across the Great Plains, affecting 5 states and causing widespread destruction. The storm was so severe that it blocked out the sun, reducing visibility to just a few feet. The human cost of the Dust Bowl was staggering. Thousands of families were forced to abandon their homes, seeking refuge in other parts of the country. Many of these families, known as Okies, migrated to California, where they faced poverty, exploitation, and discrimination. The Dust Bowl also had a disproportionate impact on marginalized communities, including African Americans and Native Americans, who were often forced to live in areas with poor soil quality and limited access to resources. Despite the devastation, there were also stories of resilience and hope. Many farmers and ranchers banded together, sharing what little they had and working collectively to find solutions to the crisis. The New Deal programs introduced by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, such as the Soil Conservation Service and the Works Progress Administration, provided critical support to affected communities. Bennett's warnings about soil erosion had fallen on deaf ears in the 1920s, but by the 1930s, his message was being heard. As the head of the Soil Conservation Service, Bennett worked tirelessly to promote conservation practices, such as contour plowing and terracing, which helped to reduce soil erosion and restore fertility to the land. As we witness the heroic struggles of those who fought to reclaim their land, we are reminded that the Dust Bowl was not just an environmental disaster, but also a human tragedy. The stories of families who lost everything, of communities that were torn apart, and of individuals who fought against overwhelming odds serve as a powerful reminder of the importance of responsible stewardship of the land. Join me as we continue our journey through the dusty annals of American history, uncovering the secrets of our collective past and exploring the lessons that can inform our future. Welcome back to History with Herodotus, as we conclude our journey through the devastating events of the Dust Bowl. As the Dust Bowl began to subside in the late 1930s, the federal government launched a series of initiatives aimed at restoring the damaged land and preventing similar disasters from occurring in the future. The Soil Conservation Service, established in 1935, played a crucial role in promoting conservation practices such as contour plowing and terracing, which helped to reduce soil erosion and restore fertility to the land. Additionally, the Works Progress Administration provided critical support to affected communities, funding projects such as tree planting, fence construction, and rural road development. One notable example of the impact of these initiatives is the establishment of the Shelter Belt Program, a massive tree planting effort aimed at creating a 100-mile-wide belt of trees stretching from Canada to Mexico. The program, launched in 1934, employed thousands of workers and ultimately planted over 220 million trees, helping to reduce soil erosion, provide shade, and create wildlife habitats. The Dust Bowl also had a profound impact on American agriculture, leading to significant changes in farming practices and policies. The Agricultural Adjustment Administration, established in 1933, implemented programs aimed at reducing crop production, increasing prices, and providing support to farmers. The Soil Bank Program, launched in 1956, allowed farmers to retire marginal land from production, reducing soil erosion and promoting conservation. The legacy of the Dust Bowl can also be seen in the growing awareness of climate change and its effects on agriculture. As scientists began to understand the role of human activities in exacerbating droughts and soil degradation, a new era of environmental consciousness emerged. The 1970s saw the passage of landmark legislation such as the National Environmental Policy Act and the Endangered Species Act, which have had far-reaching impacts on environmental policy and conservation efforts. Today, the Dust Bowl remains an important reminder of the importance of responsible stewardship of the land. As we face the challenges of climate change, soil degradation, and water scarcity, the lessons of the Dust Bowl serve as a powerful warning about the consequences of neglecting our environment. The stories of families who lost everything, of communities that were torn apart, and of individuals who fought against overwhelming odds continue to inspire us to take action, to protect our land, and to ensure a sustainable future for generations to come. As we conclude our journey through the dusty annals of American history, we are reminded that the past is prologue. The Dust Bowl may be a relic of the past, but its legacy continues to shape our present and inform our future. As the great American novelist John Steinbeck once wrote, "The Dust Bowl is not just a story of the land, it's a story of the people who lived on it." Let us remember the stories of those who came before us, and let us strive to create a brighter, more sustainable future for all. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the History with Herodotus podcast. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.